Good evening, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm an artist sculptor, and tonight we are going to make the head of a wizard or old man with long hair and a beard. We're starting off with a ball of this is Sculpey 3 brand polymer clay. I work in black because I like the way the finishes look on it, and I don't have to paint it first. So I can just put the finish right on. Now you do want to knead the clay, and that conditions it and mixes up all the ingredients in the clay, so you definitely want to do that. I did that a good bit before starting. I'm going to roll a ball to start off with, and one thing the rolling does is it gets all the imperfections off the surface of the clay. It's a good starting place. And then once I've got a ball, I'm going to roll it slightly kind of cone shape for the shape of the head, like that. And then take my thumbs and press in to the clay to form the shape of the eyes. Squeeze here and pull out a little bit to kind of begin the nose, and then at the base of the nose I'll push in like that, and that kind of further shapes the nose. And that's just kind of a quick way to get the basic shape underway of the face. Now I'm going to take a little noodle of clay like this to further define the nose. I want to have it come out a little bit further, so I'll put that on there like that, and then I'll blend it in on the sides all the way around. It just kind of looks like that. You can shape it. You can take your fingers like this and shape it so it's the way you want it. Now I'm going to take a little piece of clay and make a teardrop shape. But before I do that, I'm going to make two shapes, or two balls of clay the same size. That way they'll be both the same size, and these are going to be part of the nose. And then I'll make the teardrop shape like this, like that, and put them on either side of the nose. Now to blend them in, I'm going to use a tool to do that, because my finger won't really get in there. And when I say blend, I'm basically just drawing the clay from one part to another. And that's basically the nostril casings. Now I'm going to take, that's what it looks like so far. I'm going to take a little ball of clay, maybe a little bit bigger than that, and put it right on the end of the nose here to kind of extend it down. And then blend that in. So it's kind of a long nose he's got. And that's what it looks like so far. Just going to do a little bit more blending here on the side. Now I'm going to take this is a ball tool here, and I'm just going to put an indentation in for the eye sockets. I want them to be the same height, and I don't really want them really close to the bridge of the nose, because the eyes will be too close together then, and it won't look right. I want them to also be the same depth to one another. Next, I'm going to make a ball of clay for the eyes, the eyeballs. And I'm going to make one first and get it sized the right size, and then I'll make the other one. So that's too big. This is really good practice if you want to learn how to make faces. So once I make it the right size, I'll re-roll it and make another one just like it. That one's a little bit too big. Still a little bit too big. That's about right. I'll put those in the eye sockets. Now, a good tool to use to make the pupils of the eyes is a tool like this. I need to fix this eyeball. It's I think I need to widen this hole a little bit. And put it back in. That's a little bit better. I'm going to use the back of an old paintbrush here. And I want them looking directly at me, so I put holes down in there. So it should look like that. Next, I'm going to put on eyelids. So I'm going to roll a noodle of clay that's kind of sharper on either end. It looks like that. Just flatten it slightly. And put him at a slight angle like that. Because he's older, so obviously he's going to have somewhat droopy eyelids. And then I'll make another one, trying to make them both the same size. Flatten it slightly. And I try to position them to be about the same. Now I'll take a sculpting tool like this here and blend it in at the top. Just kind of sculpting the places where the eyelids join the face and the nose and all around here. So it looks like that. Now there's a bony area right here on the side of the eye. So I'm going to roll a ball and I'm going to make it somewhat teardrop shaped like this. And I'm going to put it right there. And do another one on the other side. Try to make them both the same size. You can always start off with two balls the same size and then make your pieces that way. And then you can blend these in at the top down where they join the head. Next we're going to make the eyebrows. So with a ball of clay, now I want them to look like, this is one thing that I'm going to do that will make him look a little bit more wizard-like. So I make a shape like that for the eyebrow. And then I bring it down on his nose like that. And bring it up and over that bony area. And make another one for the other side. I'll match it to this one to make sure it's right. And it's a little bit shy, some clay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more clay to it. Now I'm going to take a sculpting tool and kind of carve it in at the top there where it meets the top of the head. And that will secure it. Now I'm just going to play with his eyelids a little bit. Kind of lift him up a little bit. I want them to be droopy, but I don't want them to be too droopy. And then I'm going to start adding some details like wrinkles and that sort of thing on his eyelids, underneath his eyes. And some hair texturing for his eyebrows. Now I want to add some cheekbones. So I want 2 balls of clay the same size. Just blend it in all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is I want to texture the face a little bit. So I'm just going to take my sculpting tool and just do that. I want his face to look kind of craggy. Kind of, you know, just aged and texturing it like that will give it the look I want. Up in the up here, I can add some wrinkles. Now I'm going to start working on a beard for him. So I'm going to roll a ball to start off with, and I'm going to roll it into a cone shape. And I'm going to kind of flatten it, not completely, but a little bit slimmer on the top there. And I'm going to score it where it's going to join the face. And let's get this here. Going to look for my Sculpey Bacon Bond. Put some on there, just to make sure it's good and secure. And then I'm going to take the two parts and twist them as I press. I can blend the head into the beard in the back. Then I'm going to bring it this way a little bit and bring it that way a little bit. And then I can take a sculpting tool and blend it into the front of the face. I'm just forming the beard a little bit here. Now I can take a noodle of clay for the mustache and roll it like this here. so it looks like that. Fold it slightly in half like that. And press it into place underneath the nose so it looks like that. And then I can shape it like that. You can take a sculpting tool and put a dividing line and then start putting in the texture for the beard and mustache. Now I can work on his hair. There's a lot of ways really to do hair. One way is to take noodles of clay like this. And just put it on the head. That one's a little shy. Should make it a little longer. That's a little bit too long now, but I can guesstimate it and probably like that. Once it's on there, if you turn the face around, and just be careful about how you hold it so you're not putting a lot of pressure on the face. You should take a sculpting tool and blend it in the back like that to the head. Now when you're putting the texture in for the hair, you can put deeper lines in, and you can do this for the beard as well. Randomly. But you can see when I was holding the head, the beard got obscured by the my pressure of my hand. So that's okay, because it's not hard to fix that. I'm going to put these random lines in also here in the back, in the beard, and even in the mustache. It just adds to the depth of the sculpting of the hair. And then you can go back and sculpt in lines for a little bit more detail. Now, again, watching your the face, and not to obscure it too much if you can avoid it, you can take like a tool like this. First thing to do is measure across and see where the middle mark is. So it's going to be right about there. right about here, and then you can put a hole in the back. If you put it in at an angle going upwards like this, you can hang on a nail. So if you put it in at an upward angle, the nail can go into the wall at a slant, and if your house shakes, believe it or not, some people's houses shake. Like if you slam the door or a truck goes by, something like that, the sculpture isn't as likely to fall off the wall. So just keep that in mind. And you can hang it on a finishing nail. The hardware store will know what that is should you ask for it. Now, he's about there, and I think what I'm going to do is a finish on him. I'm going to be using Pearl Etch Pigments, and this is Antique Bronze is the color. It's my favorite color, the ones that they make, and I do most of it with my finger. I put my finger in it, swirl it with my thumb to kind of get it a little bit more subdued, and just basically go over it, highlighting it. Now I want a lot of texture on this piece, so I'm not smoothing it, but if you want to smooth it, there'll be in the video description down below the video, there'll be smoothing instructions. There'll also be a tool and supply list. Also, I want to mention that this particular clay, 4 pounds of it was given to me by Polyform Products, the makers of Sculpey 3. They were nice enough to send over a box of 4 pounds of it for me to use, and Sculpey 3 is my favorite clay, so that's what they sent me, and I'm very grateful for it, for sure. Now what I can't get with my finger, I'll get with a paintbrush, and I'll show you how I do that. First I do like to finish the rear side, the back side, bottom side. Just think it looks better if you have continuity with the finish. Now what I do is I'll take a paintbrush like this, dip it in a little bit of water, and I'm dabbing off some of the excess of it. Stab off the end of it. And then I'll get a little bit on my brush, a little bit of the antique bronze, and then I'll dab that on the table or cloth or paper towel, get off most of the excess, and then just lightly brush it on in the areas I couldn't get with my finger. And the water, it just acts as a vehicle to get the bronze onto the sculpture, but it does it in such a way as it looks really nice. And I've been doing this for a while now. It doesn't hurt it to do that before baking or anything like that. It works out really well. So I just go over the parts that I wasn't able to get with my finger, since my finger is a broad surface. And that's how I make a wizard head. Now if you're going to bake this, also in the video description down below the video, with the tool and supply list and the smoothing instructions, you'll find baking instructions. So just follow those instructions to bake your wizard face. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I do many videos along these lines. I have nearly 700 videos at this time. Check them out and subscribe to my channel. Please like the video, give me a thumbs up, let me know that you liked it, share it with your friends, let other people know about this cool video, if you could, please. And leave me a comment, and also any suggestions for video that you might like to see, that you'd like me to make. I love to hear what your ideas. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.